Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Realtree, Hoyt Archery, Fuse Accessories, Muddy Outdoors, Cabela's, Trophy Rock, Scott Archery, Frigid Forage, Rocket Broadheads, Bloodsport Arrows, Redneck Hunting Blinds, Yeti Coolers, Quiet Cat, Non-Typical Wildlife Solutions, Deer Grow, Ozonics, and Nikon.
Thanks for joining me this week on Midwest Whitetail. On this week's episode, we've got the Midwest Whitetail annual meeting where we have a lot of our sponsors come in and talk to our pro staff. We do a film school, always trying to get better at the things that we do here at Midwest Whitetail. So we got that for you this week. We've also got some of the fencing projects that we do with the hot zone fences to protect our food plots from the deer while the food plots are establishing and starting to grow. Hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Well, we're out on a small farm today, down the road from the home farm. And we're going to actually head down to the bottom here and work on a project. We're going to fence in some beans that we planted about a week ago. And we're going to put the non-typical hot zone fence around those to keep the deer out of half of that field. That field sits right in front of the old redneck blind. It's a field we've had a lot of success over the years, Cheech and Waldo. And last year we didn't have any big deer on the farm here really, so we didn't hunt here as much. But before we go down there, I want to talk about what we did in this big field up on top. And last year I actually had this field fenced in too. The problem is it's really hard to hunt unless you hunt it with a shotgun or something. And since we didn't have any big deer that we were chasing on this farm, we didn't really hunt it. What we did in this field this year is the steep slope where we get a lot of erosion along the edge of the woods. I planted clover and oats. Once that clover starts to take off, we'll cut those oats out of there. And then in the middle here, this field that's getting overtaken behind me with foxtail, we've got corn in here, so I need to come and spray this today or tomorrow. And then the coolest thing we did, we planted about an acre of trees. We got about 750 trees we got from the Iowa State Nursery. And we planted those about 2.5 weeks ago, and they look awesome. The one thing that's going to be nice with those trees in a couple of years, it'll start to put a barrier where I can sneak down to the bottom. It's the one thing I always hate about hunting this spot. Whenever we go down to the bottom, I feel like I'm coming over the edge of a desert without a tree anywhere. It seems like every deer in the county can see me. So we made this nice little shelter belt of trees. Not only will it give the deer cover, it's going to give me cover getting down to the bottom of the hill. So that's the plan. We're going to head down to the bottom and see if we can get that fence up and keep the deer out of those beans until we're ready for them to have dinner. Well, there it is. We got the hot zone fence up. I forgot my torch so I could twist my wires together and hook it up to the battery, but there's really no beans in there that are really in any danger of the deer getting them yet. So looks perfect. Same setup we had last year. We just need a couple big deer in here this year. And this will be not only, we'll probably take this thing down about the beginning of the rut, beginning of November, end of October, depending on what's going on with the other beans in there. What we actually did last year, we came in here with some frigid forage and we did a autumn quick plot in here, right into the beans. So we had turnips in here after the beans were devoured by the deer. And we had our beans on this side. It was a deadly combination with no deer that we wanted dead. So we're hoping that we get a couple big ones running around this farm this year, and we'll be hunkered down all nice and cozy in the redneck blind, waiting for them to show up. November can't get here soon enough.
All right, hey guys, just a reminder from the Trophy Rock guys, now's the time to be getting your mineral sites replenished, either with the rocks or our new product 465. 465 is working great on a lot of our farms. The deer need those minerals right now. The does need it, the bucks are starting to grow their antlers, so be sure to get out and get your minerals out there. Thanks guys.
I'm Gary Cornum. I'm with Easton. The product that I'd really like to put out in front of you guys and have you consider shooting is the full metal jacket. It starts with a carbon core tube. We make that in our Utah facility. In another part of the plant, we make the aluminum jacket. So it's kind of like making two arrows. We bring them together. They're bonded together in the factory. So we got a carbon core with a aluminum jacket on the outside. 2006 we came out with this one I'm holding. It was an X diameter. About 3 or 4 years ago we introduced this full metal jacket. It was a G diameter, and this year we introduced this one. It's an H. Now that's really confusing. X, G, and H. So I went to the engineers and I said, what are the diameter of these? They said, the original one is 5. This one is 4, and this one is 6. And I was like, awesome, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what we're calling them now. So make that easy for everyone to understand. There's so much interest, so much excitement around FMJ. I went to our engineering team and I said, what could we do to bring the full metal jacket and make it available to more bow hunters? Basically get some of the cost out of it. We took the graphics off. We made it larger diameter, 6 millimeter, which reduces the cost in the materials and the throughput time in the factory. And this makes FMJ available at a price point that is really where a normal guy would buy a decent set of carbon arrows.
Well, what we were trying to do and have come up with is obviously a no-till drill. So some of the features that you see on the machine is, first of all, very thick gauge steel, and most of that is for strength but also for cutting weight, so we can have that cutting power at the disc. Packing wheels have full motion, and you've got depth control here. This one has been used. This is one of our better demos here, but you can change your depth really easily with these pins. Calibration tray is a very huge feature for this machine. You can plant anything from clover to corn with this machine, one box. So basically, you can see this tray. Right now, if seed was coming through, this tray would catch, obviously, the way it was set in there. And so we'll catch the seed, we can weigh it, multiply it, and get exactly dialed in where we want to be. The ability of this tray gives you the chance to do that in the field, so you don't have to lay out a tarp and throw it all on the ground, sweep it up, and it's a lot easier that way. So when you're done calibrating, you flip it over and you can see that there's welded tube through. These are the seed elements. And you just take these, lock it back in, and you're ready to go.
So for those of you that are new, we actually have 2 different series. We have a carbon series and an aluminum series. Both of those series have 3 bows. You have a short axle, you have a 33-inch, which is our turbo model, and then the 34. The only difference in those bows is the material of the riser. So the carbon series is our hollow helical flex tune riser, and then you have the machined aluminum on the aluminum series. Both of those lines have got a complete facelift for this year. New risers, new limb pockets, new limbs, new cams, complete reworking. The big talk has been on our new DFX cam. It's got 3 new offerings that we haven't had in the past. The first is the modular rotating system for draw length. So if you've shot our stuff in the past, to change draw length, it's a module replacement system. So if you want to play 1/2 inch short, 1/2 inch long, see what it's going to take or what you like with a certain bow, you got $60 worth of modules sitting somewhere. With this, in one cam, you still get the 2 inches of draw length range, but now it's all built into that one cam. The other thing we've done, if you look on the top cam on all these models, is you have this slot. Okay, this slot is for our optional limb stop peg. So you can use it, you can not, you can play with it, you can figure out if you like it with or without. Always have your cable stops in place. This will just give you a little bit more of a solid back wall. So if you're a super hard puller and you don't want to pull into that cam and change possibly rotation or where you're releasing from in that cam, this is going to give you more consistency for the hard pullers. The other thing that we've done is, if you look at a lot of our marketing and advertising stuff this year, we talk a lot about ESP. Okay, ESP stands for effective string position. So what we've done this year is we've re-engineered this cam so when you come to full draw, the apex of that cam sits at a higher position above the axle, which increases the string angle. So especially for a 29 and a half, 30-inch guy that's running a short axle bow, in the past when you come into your anchor point, you've really got to crane that head down to get that nose on the string. Okay, creates uncomfort feelings in the neck, creates more eye fatigue. So when you come to full draw now on our 31-inch bow, it's axle to axle, okay, doesn't move nearly as much, and with that peak being higher, we've increased the effective string position at full draw 3.5 inches. So a 31 now feels like a 34. The 34 inch is going to shoot and feel like a 37.
You know, animals rely on pretty much 3 senses. Sight, well, we wear camo and we don't move. We can control that. Sound, okay, I'm not loud, I sneak in and I don't make noise in the stand. I can pretty much control that. The variable I could never control was scent and odor and wind direction. And now we've taken those pieces and kind of plugged something in there to give you that ability. If you've used them, you know, a lot of times I get phone calls and guys will say, you know, hey, it's not working, I'm getting busted. And I say, when I come to that, there's 3 main points, or 3 questions you should ask yourself in that situation. I've got it set up, is it working? That's always the first one. Is my battery dead, or is there some type of mechanical failure? And that's the first question. If you rule those out, which most of the time that's gonna instantly be, hey, it's producing ozone, it's on, I know that's not the issue. The second question should be, what are the environmental conditions right now, right? Because there are certain environmental challenges that your concentration of ozone may not be able to overcome. High humidity situations where there is an enormous amount of water in the air, well, that's reacting with every ozone molecule that's being produced. So it's burning up your ozone. And so that creates a situation, a challenge. And then high winds. And in high winds, what happens is it's reducing or diluting your concentration much quicker. And so we go back to that point that hunting with ozone is about time and concentration. Can I keep enough concentrated ozone in my downstream scent area long enough to destroy all of my odor, or alter all of my odor, destroy and alter, or reduce it to the point that an animal thinks I'm 400 yards away when in reality I'm 22. Providing you the time to, you know, to gauge the animal and make a decision about whether I'm going to take that animal or not take that animal.
But we have a complete line of products. Now understand this, every product is a tool. I'm the kind of guy that if I walked in the room and saw 20 products, I'm like, seriously, who does that? Every product has a unique tool to what you personally need. If you need to gain more muscle, you probably need some extra protein. If you're trying to cut some weight, we have a 28-day challenge that is the #1 seller in the company. Why? Again, you guys don't know, you're too young. But we're overweight as a nation. Our kids are overweight, adults are overweight, and they don't know what to do. In fairness to them, they don't know what to do. So I am not about weight loss. It bores me. We've trademarked a phrase called muscle management. The dirty little secret is people don't understand. You've got to keep your muscle. Even if you don't want to gain any. I don't want to gain any muscle. I want to keep what I got. So we put together a nutritional package to support lean muscle while you burn body fat. Does that make sense? So it's very, very popular. But what we're moving now east of the Mississippi with a message of, you know, whitetail hunters, you may only have to go in the back 40. Some of you guys got bigger plots or whatever, but still hanging tree stands, all those things is very, very physical.
My name's Isaac. I'm the National Sales Manager for Grizzly Coolers. What I have here for you today is just a look at our core line, excluding some of the bigger ones, but our 15, 20, 40, 60, and 75 is going to be your core sizes that you're going to see in the field quite a bit, and what our main sales numbers are around. Our 40 and 60 are probably our top 2 sizes. With that being said, so the difference between Grizzly and some of the other manufacturers out there, the rotomolded cooler market is expanding in a big way in the last few years. I've been with Grizzly for a little over 4 years, and I used to have to explain what a high-end cooler was every conversation. Now I don't have to do that anymore. It's more mainstream, which is awesome. So what sets us apart? The Made in the USA aspect of our business. We have the plant right there. I can literally walk down the hall and be in our ovens. That's pretty unique in the cooler world, that we mold everything right there. We're not waiting for a boat to come across the ocean and all that stuff. We need more coolers, we're just gonna make you more coolers. So everything is right there. So we fly that American-made flag pretty hard. And then we put a lifetime warranty on them as well. So we want this to be the last cooler you're gonna buy.
Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you right back here again next week for the next episode of Midwest Whitetail. And remember to always dream big.